Yes. Welcome to the Kojo Show. I am your host, Kojo. I am joined by four very fantastic guests: two Man United, two LFC, five people on the show. Let's get it going. Welcome to the Kojo Show. Yeah, there we go. And welcome to the Kojo Show. Well, I said to Liverpool fans, but my Liverpool fans gone missing. So we'll get started with the intros. Like I say, I'm your host, Coach Kojo from the Free Midfield Podcast, and we are joined firstly by Dan. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, appreciate you having me on. I'm in enemy territory, but I'm glad to be here.
Welcome to the show. And joined by fellow Liverpool fan. Right, you okay? Right, you there? Maybe not. We'll go back to him later. Darren from Eyes on the Ball TV. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah. It's gloomy times, but hopefully, the tide will turn real soon.
Absolutely. And finally, last but definitely not least, from United Team Talk, Mr. Jerry. How you doing, bro?
Yo, all good, man. It's kind of weird doing a preview after, before we've even played today, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, man.
Hey, but shout out you, Kojo, though. Shout out, man. Glad to be on the Kojo show and that.
Isn't it, man? This is my first time. Like, I'm privileged.
Trust me.
Damn.
Yeah.
So this should be like the fifth time. My apologies, man. My apologies. But let's get started. So Dan, I want to start with you first because yesterday you kicked up this. Well, you haven't kick-started your Champions League campaign. You already have done it already, but yesterday was a very, very entertaining game between you and Atletico Madrid, which tends to be the thing between you two. So yesterday, 3-2 win. Firstly, your thoughts on the match, how it went for you guys?
Yeah, said just before we came live, the result was the most important thing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have expected a 3-2 entertaining thriller, to be perfectly honest with you. I expected it to be a little bit more conservative than that, especially out there, because it's a very difficult place to go. Diego Simeone's sides are impossible to play against nearly. But we went 2-0 up in 15 minutes, so it was a bit of a surprise to everyone, I think. But just made up to get the 3 points, to be fair, because, like you say, we're in control of the group now, and we can not relax, but 2 home games in the final 3, 9 points already on the board. Yeah, it's looking positive, man. It's difficult to complain. There have been quite a lot of complaints from Liverpool fans about the way we defended, but to go to Atletico and score 3 goals, I think that's the biggest positive to take from it. Like,
absolutely. And I'm gonna let your fellow Liverpool fan come and join us and talking about it. So, intro once again. Rack, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, a few technical difficulties there, but yeah, made it on in the end. So yeah, look, I mean, pretty much what Dan said about the game yesterday. At the end of the day, the result's what matters most. And we got the result. We look pretty comfortable in the group now. So yeah, shouldn't be, touch wood, shouldn't be too many issues in going through. But yeah, but at the same time, especially with the United game on the horizon, it's thrown up a few question marks as well. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it.
Well, I want to ask you quickly because there was a lot of controversial points in the game yesterday. Griezmann's first goal arguably could have been given off for offside because of Lemar sort of interfering with Matip. That's one issue. Then he got sent off for what I like to call the Juntao kicks. I'm a Rush Hour fan. And then they obviously got a penalty, but they also got a penalty. Also, yours was given. Theirs not so much. I want to come to you first, right? Their penalty, was it a penalty? Was the referee right to overturn it? What's your view on that?
I'm going to try and be objective, but you guys tell me if I am or not succeeding in that. But look, if there was contact, I thought it was a minimal amount of contact. And the interesting thing is that the referee gave it and then changed his mind. But I ultimately and to Peter Walton, the ref who was kind of commentating for BT Sport, he thought it was a penalty. So I think it's if you got a few different referees, kind of coming with different opinions, it shows it was borderline. And if it's borderline, I'm going to say no penalty.
Fair enough. Dan, do you agree with those comments from Rack?
I do to a certain extent, yeah. I was very surprised he overturned it because there is contact there. There's no denying that. But I think it's the sort of the arm in the air and the throwing himself to the ground that kind of ruins the penalty for him. Because I think if he just falls and hits the deck, he probably gets it. But when you watch it, there is a part of you that thinks, God, he's made the most of that. And I think that's what swayed VAR and the referee to go, hang on. Whereas you look at the one we won a minute earlier, like, that's just the most ridiculous foul you'll ever see. Like, he just runs into Jota for no reason, and that's just stonewall. So they're very similar, but the one we give away, I just think the player makes too much of it, and that's what makes the ref change his mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a funny one, that game, because the referee would give, there was one foul when Mane was taken out. The guy didn't get the ball.
I know, yeah.
Kondogbia didn't get the ball. Mane was taken out. He let the play go on. But
You're right on the edge of the area.
Yeah.
But there's another one on the right side where you could just say his hands were on him, but he didn't really make an effort to foul him. But the referee gave a free kick to Liverpool, and it was just like, this is I'm not sure about this performance. But regardless, it's 9 out of 9 points. You started strong. Jerry and Darren, on the other hand, Manchester United have not started so strong. Big One says you guys are looking on edge. Me personally, today I'm supporting Fulham versus Cardiff. So, I'm keeping it with Fulham. But let's start with Darren. Huge game, I would say, for Man United today. What are you expecting, considering the atrocious performance over the weekend?
Not much, man. Not much. It's hard to expect a lot right now. Atalanta are a credible opponent, man. Obviously, I don't know a lot about them. Obviously, I did a little bit of research because obviously they're upcoming opponent, and I heard Fabrizio talking about them as well. I heard some of the best running stats across Europe, play really attacking football, and that's our Achilles heel. Do you know what I mean? When teams are biting at our feet, we're one. I've said it for years. We are one of the worst passing teams in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? So when the team presses us, plays disciplined football, I feel like we struggle against that. I don't put a lot of credence in the idea that, you need, like, McTominay and Fred need to play because you need legs, but there needs to be a balance in it. And right now, we're not getting enough mobility and work rate from all our players, to be honest. And they're the best in Europe at that. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be a tough challenge. I think it's going to be similar to, and I believe we're going to Atalanta, right?
No,
Old Trafford.
Oh, it's at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But even our format at Old Trafford has been tragic as well. So that doesn't even give me more confidence either. So I don't know, man. I just feel like we're gonna go into the game hoping, as we have been for a really long time now, hoping that Ronaldo shows up, hoping that Rashford does something, hoping that the back line holds up. But really and truly, you just don't know what you're gonna get when it comes to United right now.
That's absolutely factual. And Jerry, Darren mentioned the midfield, which, I mean, to be honest, I think for the last 18 months, all Man United fans have spoken about is which midfield works best. All pundits speak about which midfield works best for Man United. So I'm going to ask about, for this specific opponent, rather than the whole balance of the team, for Atalanta's threat. Because if I'm being honest, Man United are not playing games to dominate, they're playing games to counter. So how do you count? What midfield is best to deal with the threat that Atalanta possess?
I don't even want to say it, man. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna have to be them two, isn't it, man? Like,
what two, Jerry? What two? What are their names?
Yes,
what are their names?
Hey, don't say it, bro. Don't say it, man.
That's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, watching the weekend's games, it's like whatever midfield we put out, it's just it makes no difference. So you know what he's gonna do tonight. He's gonna revert to type. Obviously, the Brazilian, who didn't play the last game, so He's definitely coming straight back in. Ollie even said, do we need legs in there?" Which tells me he's going for his standard, McFred. Yeah, I said it. And yeah, I'm nervous for tonight. I can't lie. I'm very nervous because I know we're not doing predictions now, but I see a L tonight, boys. Man, I'm not even joking, bro.
Raw, you see an L.
Yeah, man, because I'm not expecting a response. I want a response, but I just know it's going to be same old. And Atalanta, like you said, the running stats are mad. Villarreal should have slapped us in the last game. I
Young
think this
boys did slap us.
exactly. I think this team take the chances, man. Unless De Gea pulls off a mad thing today, I see us conceding a lot of goals, man. And our scoring right now is just not looking like promising unless it's a moment of magic, which that's what we are. But yeah, I'm nervous about tonight, man. No, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm actually not, but it is what it is, man.
No, I think you've made
To
a
add
fair
to that,
point.
Kojo, innit? Just
Yeah, go on.
in terms of the midfield selection, I don't want to, beat a dead horse, but this is the perfect game for a Donny van der Beek. Someone who is very press resistant, someone who does a bit of everything, can be a goal threat, comfortable on the ball. We're at home. Why are you playing McFred at home? What they're gonna do? Run around? Do you get what I mean? You're not away from home. You're not trying to sit back and hit teams on the break. You need someone who's comfortable on the ball, can pick a pass, can feed the front line. And we know those guys don't do that. It just is baffling why Donny van der Beek does not get a chance. Like, the guy is a quality player. And it's just it's sad, man, because it feels like we're jeopardizing ourselves just to prove a point. Yeah, I mean, I don't get the logic behind it. And this would literally be the perfect game for him. But obviously, we already know we ain't gonna see him.
I was going to say, Jerry makes a fair point it's a fair point indeed. Atalanta score goals, bundles of goals, year in and year out. They found a great system that works for them. They're very productive, and they always find a way during the season to at least score 5 or 6, at least 5 times in games per season, especially in the league anyway. But I'm going to have to push you for a prediction because Liverpool got the job done yesterday. So before we get into the Liverpool preview, I need a prediction from you two. And I'm actually going to get a prediction from the Liverpool fans as well, because I feel like they can be very level-headed knowing their team is good and United are not so good. Go, Jerry.
I should go, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You can't afford to lose, bro.
Give me a score.
3-1 Atalanta, man.
3-1 Atalanta.
Yeah.
Old Trafford. Wow.
3-1.
Yeah.
At Old Trafford.
Bro,
Old
Villarreal. Did you watch that game, bro? I watched it back again. I said, wow. Like it was like a 10-minute video. Yeah. The first like 6 minutes, United didn't even have a shot. All I saw was attack after attack after attack. I was thinking, bro, it's like 50th minute and I ain't seen a United attack, bro.
No,
so
facts.
Atalanta will take their chances if presented to them. So yeah, man. I think we're getting done tonight, man. This
One
sad.
clean sheet. It's sad, bro. One clean sheet in our last 19, so we're definitely conceding.
Oh, 100%.
And the scariest thing is, I look at the matchup of the managers, and it is a mismatch. Gasperini, he's a top manager. He's turns, do you know what I mean, average players into a solid team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has great players, and he's got them playing like disjointed. So, listen, Jerry, bro, I'm with you, man. I was surprised there, but when you really take it, it's gonna be 2-1, 3-1 Atalanta. I just don't see us doing enough, man.
If you feel like Ole is going to struggle against Gasperini, imagine struggling against one of the top 2 coaches in the Premier League, which goes on to the weekend.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because it's. I think for both teams, I would say it's probably the biggest game in the calendar, as in how much the rivalry means to both clubs. In either situation, whether it's United on top back in the day of Liverpool sort of languishing, or now Liverpool on top and United languishing, this fixture means a lot. You've had unlikely winners like John O'Shea and David Ngog. So it throws up many things. But I'm gonna go to the Liverpool fans first. what would you say would be the key to beating Man United for you guys? Did you just play the same way you have been, or is there a specific area you need to target? I'll go to Dan first.
I think from us, it's play the way we have been, which is something we haven't done at Old Trafford for like the past 5 or 6 times we've been there. For whatever reason, I don't really count last season's game because I know we beat you there last year, but there's no fans, etc., etc. It didn't feel right. But whatever has gone wrong previously at Old Trafford, like we turn up in great form, like we will do this time, and United a bit, hit and miss, and we don't perform like we have been. We always tend to bottle it, for want of a better word, at Old Trafford in recent years, and that's what concerns me most about Sunday. If it goes to form and we play the way we've been playing, let's be honest, we're a better side than Man United right now, so we should beat you. But my main concern, which is why I hate this fixture so much, is because we just don't turn up there all too often. Even under Jurgen Klopp, who I think's best in the world sort of territory, we haven't turned up at Old Trafford for a long time. So that's my main concern with it. I think in terms of weaknesses, you touched on your midfield. That's an area we should look to dominate, if we're being honest. You've got players who can hurt us going forwards. There's no doubt about that. But also, I think your left-hand side of the defence, if it is Maguire and Shaw, I mean, we've all seen the form Salah's in. Like, that could be an area that man, dominates, if you like. Because we've been really free scoring away as well. We mentioned, obviously, 3 in Madrid last night, but we've scored 3, I think, in every away game, I think I'm right in saying so far this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty scary stuff. And we're a side playing with confidence, with an identity, which is what Man United haven't got at the minute. So I take into account it's at Old Trafford. You've got players of world-class quality. But if we turn up and play like we have been, we should be too strong for you.
I want to but I want to go on to the point. I'll ask you, Rack, the point that he made about Liverpool not finding success at Old Trafford consistently enough, or to a good level anyway. Do you think there's some sort of mental block there, or is it just the occasion that sort of hits the players? Because you guys are Premier League and Champions League winners, but within that time period, you have struggled bar last season to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Yeah, look, it's something that came up yesterday when I was chatting to a few of the guys, and I think generally speaking, when you go away to your rivals, and I still say United, despite the fact that their experiences of difficult times, still our biggest rivals for sure. So, generally speaking, I think when you go away to your rivals and get a draw, and if you can beat them at home, they're considered good results. The year we won, the year we came second in the league, when Rashford was basically limping from the 3rd minute or whatever it was, and you had people dropping like flies, Klopp still didn't go for it.
Yeah.
And I think because I figured I think at that point there was still like 10, 11 games left or whatever. And he figured, you know what, we go away to United, we get a draw, even though they could have been there for the taking. That's a good result. And ultimately it ended up costing us because we lost out on the league by a point. And I think that mentality, and then that mentality has changed a little bit. And we also got the year we won the league. We also got a draw. I think we won a run of like 17 games. We won 17 games in a row, drew at Old Trafford, and then won 18 games in a row immediately afterwards, which is also crazy. But I think that's the kind of mindset that Klopp's come into it. Last season, although it was, I agree with Dan, it's a bit of an anomaly without the crowd. I think we needed to get that win at Old Trafford to make top 4, and I mean, luckily we were able to control the game, and I think that's the key to tomorrow, key to the weekend, is just maintaining that control and maintaining that dominance. Because if we can do that, we will definitely create opportunities, and if we can do that, then I think we can win.
Okay, and I want to stick with you two. I'll go to Rack first, and then when Rack finishes, Dan, just follow up on that.
Yeah, man.
I want to know your opinion on the opposition manager. Now, I want to say something here. A lot of people in the football fandom, or whatever you want to call it, especially some United fans that are quite loyal to their managers, saying that, Klopp didn't bring success immediately, but he was given the time to build something. But an interesting point. in 105 games less, Ole has lost more games than Jurgen Klopp. So I want to know what your opinion is on him in terms of, is he doing anything right that you can look at and say, you know what, United fans should have patience, or do you think he is just sinking the ship sinking the ship further, and he's pretty much just reached his limit?
All right. So I don't think Ollie's anywhere near a world-class manager.
Nope.
I don't think he's necessarily proved anything in his time in the job to suggest that that's going to change. But at the same time, and this may kind of be a bit contradictory, I think generally speaking, he's done an okay job, because I think the group that he took over, the way that the squad was kind of a bit lopsided, the difficulty that Mourinho had in the dressing room, you know, I think he's done well to kind of curb some of those issues, and at least on a interpersonal level, or on a level where players are at least kind of happy at the club. The problem is that you need to be more than just like a friend, a cheerleader. You've got to have more substance to that, because that's what's going to make the players respect you as a manager. It's not about, people often talk about this in leadership. Like, it's not about being liked; it's about being respected. And you can be respected by being liked. I think Jurgen Klopp is loved by our team, and they'll run through brick walls for him. But they'll run through brick walls for him because they respect him. And I don't know if, noise is already coming out after the last game about certain players, questioning Ollie's impact, and we should be doing this, we should be doing that. But at the same time, first season after he took over, he got top 4. Second season, it was an anomaly with the way that the season went. But on paper, finishing second in the league is a good finish. Obviously, there's loads of other factors. He didn't win the Europa League, and he really needed to do that to, I think, have a bit more credit in the bank. But I'd give him a 6 out of 10, 6.5, perhaps.
Yeah, so I echo a lot of that. I actually think he's done a decent job, to be honest with you. And that's not me as a Liverpool fan being sarcastic. I actually think he's done quite a good job while he's been there. I think you were in a pretty dark place when Mourinho left, and he's changed all of that. So he's give you a feel-good factor. When he took over, I actually compared it to when we hired Kenny Dalglish for sort of the second time. And I thought he's going to bring that feel-good factor. He's going to make everyone happy around the club again. But there's only so far that'll take you. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has took you as far as he can, because it gets to a point whereby he's a decent...
Dan, how long did Dalglish last at Liverpool?
Oh, it was only a period of months this time. He came in as like an interim sort of situation and made everyone happy. And then he was always going to go back upstairs, and that's when Rodgers came in.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was a year and a half.
Yeah, so it's a difficult one, but there's got to be a point whereby I think Ollie has taken you as far as he can. I think he's a decent football manager. I think he's a good person. I don't think there's any denying that. I just think his track record shows you when he comes up against... He's quite unfortunate that in the Premier League now we've got 3 of the best managers in world football in Klopp, Pep and Tuchel. Like, if he was in a different era, he might have had a bit more success. But the problem is he's spent a lot of money. He's been there for quite a long period of time. He's got one hell of a squad to work with. And I don't think he's going to win anything meaningful, i.e. the Premier League or the Champions League. I just don't see that happening with him. I might be wrong, and obviously for your sake, you hope I am wrong, but I just think, like I say, he's taking you as far as he can, and it just smacks of the Dalglish situation. And it's so hard when you love him, because you love him as a player and you love what he did for the club. It's so hard to turn and want him out of a job, and we had that with Dalglish, but you've got to be ruthless in this game.
Absolutely. I completely agree with everything you said over there, to be honest. Jerry, he said meaning stuff meaningful. So obviously the Carabao, we can't win Carabao Cup, Jesus Christ. The FA Cup is still there. But no, look, let's look forward to the game. I think in our minds, we kind of know what kind of lineup he's going to go for. But where do you see that Liverpool can be hurt?
Marcus Rashford. That's the only player I see that they're going to be, I don't think they're even scared of Ronaldo. I think Van Dijk and Matic will come. Like they only got him to mark because normally when we watch United, there's just him and then there's like 4 or 5 opposition players around him, and he's just isolated. So for me, with Rashford coming back, obviously we've seen him skin Trent already, and he's come back and he's already bagged. I know that's the main threat where we can hurt them. You saw the goal at the weekend, long ball, getting behind, he finishes it. Obviously Greenwood's got his threat with his, cutting and shoot, but I think Marcus Rashford is the key for this game, and he's the player that's gonna, hurt them the most. And midfield, boy, oh man, we're gonna have to match their intensity. We're gonna have to, even if they're better than us quality wise. They're gonna press us. That I'm so nervous for that press because Maguire, you saw in the last game, my goodness, he stunk out the place. And with Salah's form, even Firmino getting his tap-ins, Mane looks like he's back. The moment they press us, we're gonna have to do that long ball to Rashford. That has to be an option because they're gonna push up. So once that has to be a plan where we think if they're gonna push us up that high, Rashford stay on the edge of whoever is it, Van Dijk. Just be on side. Lindelof, you've seen he can play that ball 1,000 times. You can find him. But yeah, Marcus Rashford is the one I look to for this game to seriously hurt Liverpool.
Darren, he mentioned the press that Liverpool possess, but also the intensity, because I think a fair point to make is against Watford. Watford, you would expect them to be being the underdogs, to be the more intense side, trying to fight for the second and third ball, but they were outclassed in every aspect of the game by Liverpool, whether it be quality or hard work. So with that said, Rashford probably will be a starter, but from midfield to attack, because I think it's going to be Maguire and probably Lindelof at the back, from midfield to attack to match the intensity, does a big name need to be kicked out? And if so, who would you make it be?
That's interesting. I don't know. It's sticky, man. It's tough to bench a guy. And listen, the only one that is potentially gonna get benched is Paul Pogba. I don't see Ronaldo getting benched. Jadon Sancho, if you looked at the stats that Gary Neville and Carragher showed, he's one of the few guys that actually press for us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And we know he's the most creative when it comes to feeding a guy like Ronaldo, which is why I think he needs to stay in the lineup. Do you know what I mean? No matter how well Greenwood's playing, I love Greenwood as well. I think Greenwood's a driller. I just think Sancho has had 20 plus assists for 3 straight seasons, and you need someone who can feed Ronaldo, so he doesn't come out the lineup for me. And it's tough to bench Paul Pogba, man. It is tough to bench Paul Pogba. So your question was, what would I do, or what do I think Ollie's gonna do?
What would you do?
I would not bench Paul Pogba. My thing is, I give Klopp credit, because I feel like Liverpool have added another aspect to their game. They're a lot more comfortable on the ball now. It's not just direct. Do you know what I mean? They're a lot more patient, a lot more efficient. Do you know what I mean? So my thing is, and this is the problem that I've brought it up in the group chat multiple times. We haven't been a good pressing team for years, so why not just regroup, set up, get a shape, make sure you tell the whole team, if you're not getting back behind the ball, you're not playing. Simple as. We don't need you to press and do all that. Just get back behind the ball. Let's set up shape. And I think Paul Pogba can do that. I don't think you need McTominay and Fred to get back, to be disciplined. I think that has to be the culture throughout the team. So if it's me, I don't change the lineup. I probably play. I don't play Matic though. I think Matic can get overrun. I play Pogba, and I probably play Fred. McTominay, I don't really trust McTominay. Fred, he's gonna be about the pitch. He's brave. You can question his passing, but that's why you got Paul Pogba next to him to help. Yeah, I just think it's about discipline, man. The team lacks discipline, and against a team like Liverpool, you just gotta be focused, man. Otherwise, they can beat you in so many different ways. Fast, like on the break, they can break you down. They can pick a weak link. I just feel like we just need to be disciplined, and it has to be the case throughout the team.
Okay, now we're gonna finish off soon, but what I want to do is I'm going to go to each one of you. I want you to say your strongest or your key man for the game, the weak link from the opponent, and the scoreline prediction. All right, so we'll go to Dan first.
Sorry, Rack. Mine's Mo Salah. It is an absolute tapping of a suggestion, but there's no looking past him. Like, I won't name anyone else in case Rack does want to use them, but he's just phenomenal at the minute. Like, there's no getting away from it. So, and like I mentioned before, against that sort of left-hand side of your defence, that's got to be key. So, previously, United have actually done a good job of stopping Salah. So, I'll pick Salah and Luke Shaw for that reason, because it's going to be a big battle between them two. And I think Shaw's had a bit of a sticky start of the season for you guys, having been brilliant last year. So, yeah, I'll go Salah and Shaw, with the caveat that Shaw could well perform and probably needs to.
All right, and your score prediction, if I had to push you for one.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool, based on the fact that we have to turn up at some point at Old Trafford under Jurgen Klopp, with fans in the ground, and hopefully that's on Sunday.
All right, big up Rax from Klopp Talk, which I'm going to come to you now, actually, as well. So, Rax, same for you. Key man, weak link from the opposition, and a scoreline.
I actually wasn't going to pick Salah, so
Okay.
yeah. I think Fabinho's key, especially after seeing yesterday's performance. I think our defensive solidity, in my opinion, comes from team structure and the composure we need on the ball. And he's going to be one of the key players in that central midfield that's going to help us dictate the tempo of the game, keep possession, and obviously then work the openings as and when they arise. We know from historically United Liverpool games, even though form doesn't go completely out the window, but it's less of a factor. So United will be up for it, And I mean, one of the things that Klopp said when he first came in is, when you're playing teams that are better than you, you need to outwork them. And if you outwork them, then you bring them down to your level. And then when they're on your level, you can beat anybody. So I think that's the key. That's the key for United, to try and outwork us. I just don't know if they've got the personnel to do it. And look, Pogba's a great player, but if Pogba's playing in central midfield, if it's like a Pogba-Fred central midfield, I think that's playing into our hands a little bit.
Okay, all right. Scoreline?
2-1. 2-1 Liverpool.
United.
Okay. All right. Darren, we'll come to you now. So, who is United's key man for this game? Who is the opposition weak link for you? And scoreline, of course.
Key man, shout out James. I saw him pop up with a comment. It's going to be David De Gea, man. As I said, 1 clean sheet in 19 games. I don't see that changing. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool have scored a stupid amount of goals. Do you know what I mean? So they're gonna be peppering De Gea. I think we're gonna need him to perform. In terms of their weak link, bro, they don't really have much of a weak link. I think Jerry mentioned it in that it's Trent, fam. Because even Robertson, like I don't. Robertson is solid, but hey, I think Trent is the only guy that we can actually go at. And then scoreline, oh man. Oh man. I'm gonna go 2-2, and I'm gonna say Cristiano Ronaldo has a game, bails us out, and I'm gonna go 2-2.
All right, 2-2. Jerry, same for you, bro.
Yeah, I know I said Rashford earlier, but just to be different, it has to be CR7, man. This is the first, big game from the Big Six. We need a clutch moment, man. We need him. Like, I think if he does, deliver, I think Old Trafford is going to be rocking. If he scores the win or he gets a hat trick or whatever. So he needs to come up and just perform and do what he does best. The weak link, just to be different. You see Van Dijk, I don't know if he's looked a bit shaky. Like, he hasn't been solid, but I've seen a couple games where he looks a bit like the Griezmann, was it the first goal? or the
The
second.
second one, he was
Second one was a little bit,
yeah,
yeah.
he was sleeping a little bit for that.
He was
one,
just
yeah.
like Lexi days. I was thinking maybe he's not really up to full speed, but yeah, I wanna say Van Dijk just to be different, man. Score.
Yeah.
It's hard to give a score because I wanna give a prediction after I've watched tonight because tonight can change everything. If we perform tonight, I'll say 2-2. But if we lose, yeah, we'll get a slap 3-1 again.
I feel like Atalanta are like a prototype for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah.
So it's a tune-up game. We'll see how we do.
Yeah.
Is it a tune-up game when you need to win it? I don't know if I can call it that.
It feels like every game we need to win. Right now.
Precisely. If I can just throw my hat in there quickly, I think the key men for both sides, would be Salah, and I actually think Bruno Fernandes, just because of his goal threat from midfield. Weakest links, I would go Trent and so on. For Man United, I actually go Wan-Bissaka. Because I don't think Mane is going to look to dribble past him. I think Mane is going to look to use his movement against him. Yeah. He's going to struggle badly when someone has good movement. And Mane on this form right now,
the movement is mad. Oh my days!
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, so that one worries. That's not even worries me. It scares me personally. And that's for a scoreline prediction. I know I have a feeling that you're not going to lose, but I can't fancy giving a negative.
Listen, just say it, man. I this is the first time I predicted a loss in.
That's true. That's true.
Life. I've never predicted a loss ever.
To be honest, I don't actually do that myself. I always say United are going to lose, and I end up saying 2-1 United. But I'm actually going to go 1-0 Liverpool. I think it's going to be tight. Yeah, I think it's going to be tight. I feel like Liverpool are going to get a lot of chances and not finish it, but then they'll finish one. And United still have a clue going forward anyway. So I don't think that's going to. And we mentioned Van Dijk, but the one person that's impressed me so much so far a lot is Matip. Matip is damn good this season. Damn good. So yeah, that's me. But other than that, good luck to Man United. And I mean that because you're gonna damn well need it. And well done to Liverpool for yesterday. And I'm not gonna say good luck to Liverpool because But anyway, to finish off, get everyone plug themselves, of course. So Dan, let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. Enjoyed it. Really good. Let's hope results go, I think, our way, Liverpool's way, maybe. But yeah, find me on Twitter, Dan_club there, and then Reds Unrestricted podcast every week. There's one out today. So yeah, any Liverpool interest watching on, get on that.
Brilliant. Rack, where can they find you, bro?
You can catch me on this channel normally on Fridays. I do a Premier League preview with Steve and a couple of the other boys. Jerry's been on there in the past, so we'll that's good fun. Twitter, that's my Twitter handle. Spaces at like 3:00 in the morning, talking nonsense about football. Bits and pieces on the terrace. Liverpool show on First 11. Yeah, just all over basically. But I don't have my own channel, so I just like appearing and talking and then disappearing.
Nah. Big up you two for coming on and big up their platform. Make sure you follow them. I'm sure Usman put their links below. If he didn't, I'll make sure that gets there. Jerry, where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, Twitter handle on screen. YouTube United Team Talk, and obviously Usman Talks United.
Of course, and Darren, finally.
Yeah, shout out the Kojo show. Shout out Usman Talks United. Shout out Usman. But yeah, Eyes on the Ball TV, man. As I always say, we do it all. NBA, NFL, football. NBA season started last night as well, and it was a good watch. So subscribe and show some love.
Absolutely, and of course, Kojo, cheap plug. Free Midfield podcast on YouTube, Free Midfield everywhere else on audios and all the socials. Free Midfield, and that's been the episode of the Kojo Show. Peace out.
Yeah.